Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Wave podcast. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Michael Peniston. I am joined by the great and talented Vinny Albano.
Thank you. Hello. That's very high acclaim. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. Yes, we are back again. We're covering episode 4 now of Apple TV's The Studio. It is now a show again created by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, and it is following the executive life of Matt Remick and his company. Seth plays this character, and we're just back into another episode of craziness. But yeah, before we kind of get into anything spoiler wise, this episode was again just another basket case of craziness. We had a few big name celebrities, I guess you could say, but I don't want to get into too much just yet. I want to pass it off to you, Vinny, and let you know, or at least hear your first initial thoughts to this episode.
Yeah, man, I'm loving this show. I am so loving it. It's so funny. I said this last episode. The filmmaking is great. This entire show, it's directed, like you mentioned, by Seth and Evan Goldberg. Yep. And the filmmaking is beautiful. It looks beautiful. It's so technically well done. Every cast member is doing such an incredible job, not only in like a dramatic sense, but a comedic sense.
Yes.
And it's so funny. The amount of cameos and random Hollywood personalities that they're getting and throwing into each of these episodes, and the concepts of each of these episodes are so great, so funny. If you're not watching the show already, and you're watching this episode 4 review and you're not watching it already, like, what are you doing? You gotta watch it. If you just want to have a fun time, these episodes are fairly short. They're no longer than 30 minutes, and they're great. They're just I'm just having a lot of fun with it.
Yes. No, they're a great time. Like you said, this episode specifically, it was the shortest episode of what we've gotten so far on the show. I think it came in at about 30 minutes.
Yeah, actually, I think the one take one was 22 minutes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So then. Okay, still shorter episodes though that we're getting from this show. And one thing that I like about this show is you aren't finding that a lot of these episodes are attached, or it isn't like an ongoing storyline, either their own individual thing, which makes it even better. It just shows the craziness of what can happen in the world of film. We can start to kind of break down, I think, this episode a little bit more. This episode was again crazy. It was shaped in the way of following a noir film. In fact, we are following Seth and Ike's character as they are on Olivia. I'm drawing a blank. What's her last name?
Olivia Wilde.
Olivia Wilde. I forgot her last name completely, but Olivia Wilde's directorial film. It's basically a knockoff of Chinatown. And they make that joke a lot, but the overall premise is that there's a film reel. They're trying to shoot this whole film on reel, and on film. They're trying to shoot this whole film on film, and they lose one of these reels, and so they basically shape this whole episode like it's a noir film, like they're shooting it, down to the music and everything. So first off, what did you just have to think about? What did you have to say about the overall noir film sort of vibe, I guess, that we got from this episode?
Yeah, I loved it. There's a lot of great jokes that came with it, and it goes back to why I'm loving this show episode by episode. It's really meta. It's really meta. Like the one take episode is a one take about a one take.
Yes.
So it's super meta every episode, and this is a noir episode, or neo-noir episode technically, in the shape about a neo-noir.
Right.
So it's super funny. I love when he's talking into the voice recorder as if he's a noir voiceover, and his mom calls and he's like, Mom, I'm busy right now. Oh, okay, call me back. Right. Or like when Saul he starts doing it, and then he's like, that's my thing. So, no, stop doing it. That's my thing. Like, it's just like great little, and as a film fan, as a cinephile, and we said this in our prior episodes, this show is almost like made for us, made for people who love cinema. And this is a great example of that, of like playing into cinema tropes that people are aware of, like the red herring. You know, this whole episode they're following that one thing, it's a red herring, and then Olivia Wilde's character turns out to be like the big perpetrator of this whole thing, and it's so funny.
It is, and the way that they utilize the storytelling throughout it all, and little things that will again shape this overall joke or bit, like the fact that this whole episode was based off of Noir, and you had like a scene where it was cold on set and they needed the clothes, and they end up in the Noir outfit that you would see in something like Chinatown, the actual movie. So, and then like you said, the whole voice note, it's so perfect, so on point with the themes that they're trying to bring in this episode. Super meta, like you said, just very meta in its own thing, but so great. As this episode started to escalate more and more, you found out, little things like Zac Efron was involved in this film. Like, he is the lead, basically playing like the knockoff, what's it called? Lead of Chinatown, essentially. And there's like a whole bit where Seth is trying to again find this reel, and it's playing out like a noir mystery, and so he has the suspects, and Zac quickly falls in that suspect list. What did you think about the scene that we got in the Zach's trailer when it was like that first confrontation? You first see Zac, and it's just chaotic. What did you think about that?
I'm really loving it. I love how not only they're including these random actors, Zac Efron, Olivia Wilde, and I think Zach's part in this entire episode is one of my favorite parts. At first, and this goes back to not only the comedy of it being so well done, but also just the general structure and knowing writing. At first, we meet Zac, and I'm actually convinced that he was the perpetrator of this, right? Yeah. There's like little subtle things in his performance that kind of turn you off. Obviously, we find out that it was just kind of him being annoyed at Seth's character. But it's so funny, and I love that moment where he just like hides in the corner, and they and Zac walks past him, and just kind of like still talking about Zac. My favorite moment with Zac Efron in this episode was when they're at the rap party, and he's like, "Man, like, you didn't want to pay for the rap party." He's like, "Those are hats for the crew. Like, you're not allowed to have one." And it's like so chill. I love Zac Efron. That really emphasized how like I love Zac Efron even more after this episode. He's just great personality to have in a show like this. And I also love how, like, I guess if you're not familiar with working in the industry, the joke would kind of go over your head. But I love when he pulls them into the kitchen, and it's revealed to Zac that the reel is missing, and he's like, "Oh my God, I hope there's no reshoots because I'm technically not available." And he walks away, and I'm like, that's, we were just talking off camera. I just got off a set where it was scheduling issue after scheduling issue, and we're wrapped now, and there's no way of reshooting at this point anything if we ever wanted to reshoot. So it's just so relatable, and it's great.
It is. I really enjoyed Zach's performance in this film. I think I think he did Ricky Stanicky in between, but like one of like the last roles we were seeing of him was of the Iron Claw. So come from like such like a powerhouse of a performance to like such, again, just a comedic role like this, like so much range. And I thought that he played the character well as like this sort of douchebag. That I'm noticing this sort of repeating theme where a lot of the people just don't really like Matt. Like, you know what I'm saying? They love Ike's character, Sal. Like he has all these like inside jokes with them too. And like there's like this weird bit where Zac and Ike are like, and I mean Sal are like super close. And so it's really funny, but it's just really funny to see this dynamic play out too, where it's like Matt as this lead is creating all of these issues and problems by himself, to be honest. And like you have like a character like Sal that's his friend that is trying to help him through it, and it's just getting crazy. I thought that this episode was for sure, as far as Ike though, like comedically a great episode just showcasing him. But yeah, no, the episode just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Like you said, we end up at a rap party. There's this whole underlining storyline where Matt is cheap to all of these people in the Hollywood world, so he won't pay for a rap party, and they end up at a rap party that you think is involved in this whole real stealing thing. It's crazy and chaotic, but I love how you brought up how the moment where you have that where they reveal it to Zac, and Zac also who there's another bit in this whole episode where Olivia as the director is kind of just like a mean person and nobody wants anything to do with her, so he's trying to get out. And to see that bit play out in the kitchen where he was like, oh yeah, like I'm not gonna have that availability. It just played so much into beef that goes on to sets, like you said, scheduling issues. It cackles everything to a T. Was there anything else that you wanted to...
Yeah, I wanted, because you mentioned Seth's character and how everyone hates him, and it's like, how could you not? Almost, And it's she's so funny, Seth as a performer. So as an audience, we're laughing at him. You know what I mean? Not really with him. But if he's a studio head, he's not putting the money, he's kind of cheaping out in some areas, and he's inexperienced, and I think that I'm trying to regather my initial train of thought, because I did have something here, and I think it's honestly that was it. The show is doing such a great job of having very like subtle commentary. Well, I wouldn't even say subtle. It's very on the nose commentary of just working in the industry and the personalities that you're facing. Like studio heads, the suits, quote unquote, are always going to be not your favorite people. And that's understandable, because they're always trying to, take an artistic vision and change it. Their main goal is to make money, and the artist's main goal is not, to make something. But I think when they hate Seth's character and they love Sal, I think of Deborah Ann Wall from Daredevil, Punisher. She plays Karen. She was on John Bernthal's podcast, Real Ones, and she said that working in Hollywood and getting jobs a lot of the time relies on your vibe, right? Like someone who could catch a vibe. She said in her words, if you're a fun hang, you're most likely going to get jobs, because you're a fun hang. People want to be around you, and no matter how good or how bad you are, you're probably going to get more jobs because you're fun and you're charismatic in that way, and you're social. And it's like, I see that in the difference between Sal's character and Seth's character, is that he's the fun hang, he's the partier. He's a studio. Sal is he's a studio guy, and he really doesn't give a fuck about the film artsy side of things. He just wants to make the money, but he's still fun. So people like him. Seth, he actually cares. Like, he is like a pretentious film bro. He loves, film. I love the grain on the screen, right? He's like the average pretentious film bro, but he's not a fun hang. So people aren't going to invite him to the rap parties. Shit like that. So kind of like my final thought is how well this show is able to kind of comment on the different personalities, the different things that go on when working in Hollywood and working in the film industry.
That's like a really, really good point, just because they always say that in this industry it's like who and those connections that you make, but a lot of that is going off of, again, the person, like how you can hold up in those circles. And so like to have that fun contrast versus like a serious contrast it's so cool to see it in characters like Matt and Sal. But it's also so interesting to view it like play out because you have moments in the show where like Sal's character is clearly putting on an act as far as like liking things or the seriousness as far as things. Or you had like the moment in episode 1 where like even with Matt, he like walked off and like was like, oh, I'm getting a call from John Cena, and he like walked off and started crying, you know, and then he walked back. But little things like that where it's like going into like realness versus fakeness on in the industry as well, you know what I'm saying, where it's like you have somebody like Matt who's being a little bit too honest at times, and you like you said, like he like truly cares for it, unlike a lot of these other Zets. But it's like that weird blend of like, you know, you almost have to fake it till you make it in Hollywood sort of thing, and that like that honesty, sometimes that brutal honesty might get you to places you don't want to get to. And so I don't know, just to see it play out in these characters like this, especially in this episode, and the more that we're seeing it, and it's cool because they're friends in this in this show. But again, back to that first episode, like they both wanted this job at one point. You know what I'm saying? So to see how one character is playing out while the other one is still a friend in it it's really, really interesting. We even had like a cool moment where at one point in this episode, Ike's character kind of like left the scene, and is Seth now on like his own sort of mission to cover it up. And he ends up seeing Sal basically going to this rap party, and it causes like this whole like conversation scene between them where it's like they're questioning their friendship, and it's still, you know, following this comedic side, but it's still also like cool to see those dynamics play out, and then to have that conversation to kind of confirm it in the end of like, are you jealous of this, or you know, like, do you view me as this? And but they're still a team. And so I really like that you brought that point up, just because that is such an important part, I feel like, of this industry, and we're watching the industry unfold in a very chaotic way, but in a still really real way in this show.
100%.
Yeah. And so but then I just to kind of like wrap up the episode, and I want to talk a little bit more on this whole Olivia Wilde storyline, just because it does end off, you know, with her. You know, we have this moment in the beginning where you first see her, and she's putting on this whole act as far as like, I need this real. But then by the end, they have this suspicion that Olivia most likely stole it. And then you have this whole end moment where they go on set, and it just leads into a bunch of events. How did you feel about how this whole episode basically ended off?
Dude, it's so funny. My favorite joke, I wanted to mention this before we wrap up, is that I think my favorite joke in the episode was when Seth just barges into frame, tackles her, they like swirl. It was so unexpected. I started dying laughing. It was so funny. And she's like manic. She's like, you're gonna give me the money to reshoot this, and we're gonna get Zac with a machine gun. And then Sal gets ran over trying to get her. It's great. She like, and that's another thing too, all the guest stars that they're bringing are unironically putting on great performances of their own. Yeah. Like Olivia is great in this. She's great. And it's so funny because, again, going back to the meta element of this, the whole big thing in this episode is that she had a cameo and her cameo was so good it was award winning, right? Or it was like Zac was like, oh man, that cameo is great. It's like it could win an award. And in this episode, we get a cameo from Olivia Wilde, and it's great. It's really good. I don't know about award winning, but it's really great. So there's a great like meta, almost fourth wall breaking element there.
Yeah, for sure. It's like you said, like with that, they write all these jokes that end up playing out major into their episodes. And so just again, like the whole noir feel with this, and like the word they're shooting a noir film, like you're right, the way that they're able to bring in these little things are perfect. The way that they bring in these guests that you would never expect to put on performances like this. We were talking before again, like I think before off camera as well, but just like how random some of these like casting like placements are,
Yeah.
but that you're getting some great content. And I guess to a T, you forget that like Zac probably has worked with all of these people at one point or another. Like Zac Efron, he had Neighbors and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah.
There's something with Olivia, I'm sure, but but it's just so cool to see him be able to bring out all of these celebrities into this light. For Olivia's sake in this film, I thought that her performance also was just amazing. I haven't seen Olivia like this in this sort of manic sort of role like this, but it's cool to be able to get a performance from her in an acting sort of point, being that she is an actor, but to also see her in sort of director role now that she has tackled that in her own personal career.
Yeah.
It's cool how they take so much reality and just, you know, blend it into this made up sort of chaotic. And that whole end sequence was just crazy. It was like nothing but crazy. Like getting hit by a car. Like what?
It's so funny,
right? The tackling, the slow-mo of them falling down the hill, even like the slow-mo of her just taking the actual reel and just rolling it down and it ending on that, and it being a situation where you hear in the voiceover Seth saying like, I ended up having to pay for it all out of pocket. She got what she wanted. Like she ruined the movie, but she still got it. It's so funny, but also true to what, again, this industry is. You have somebody who probably is like a talent taking on director role that like envisions all scopes of like, you know, directing, but then also trying to get the perfect performance. Somebody like Olivia Wilde that's doing this, but also you wouldn't expect that to be Olivia Wilde. So it's just this show is just so perfect in terms of highlighting the industry, like we've been saying on, and it's so good. I feel like I don't have too much other.
I do not have any other thoughts. I think that was a good convo.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely a great convo. Oh yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for another episode of the Cinema Way podcast. Let us know in the comments what you guys thought about episode 4. Be sure to watch this. It's a great show, as Vinny stated at the beginning. If you aren't watching it, you got to get on it. We're having great, castings in this show and great storylines. So get on it. Let us know how you thought about the storyline with this, the performances that we got from Olivia and Zac, if you guys liked them. And let us know again if you guys are excited to see any more. Be sure to check out more on our channel. We just wrapped up a review on the Minecraft movie. Vinny, I think you guys just finished Daredevil as well. I think
we got one more episode left.
One more got you. Okay, Daredevil on Disney Plus. We're other shows, Solo Leveling. We just wrapped up Black Bag. And we have plenty of things to come out. We're about to do a review on Black Mirror. We have what's it called? Just an abundance of films and movies that we're covering. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Cinema Way Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok at the same handle. Just get involved. We are definitely talking about a lot, and we have a lot that we have in store, and so we are excited. Thanks again. Just signing off. My name is Michael Peniston.
And I'm Vinny Albano.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
This is The Culture.